Have you ever heard the story about what almost ended our friendship? I'm being serious here. No joke. When it comes to money, mindset with money, and everything surrounding it, a lot of feelings can come up, right? Today on the podcast, Beth and I are going to share the story of what almost broke us completely, what we did since, and how we navigate money mindset in friendship, business, and in life. This episode is meant to inspire and give you that gentle nudge to take action. Let's dive in. You're listening to the Girl Get Your Face Off a Bus Bench podcast, where we invite you to check your ego at the app, grab a cup of coffee, and get ready to dive into all things real estate marketing, social media, friendship, hardship, love, money mindset, and all the things that celebrate you as a badass boss babe.
We're here to encourage you, show up for you, give you a loving kick in the pants when you need it most, and be your soft place to land on the hardest of days. So pull up a seat at our table and get ready to be inspired and start living your best life by design.
Welcome to the Girl Get Your Face Off a Bus Bench podcast. We are so excited you're here.
Okay, girls, let's dive in.
Hey, Beth, remember when you sent me that book and then I didn't want to talk to you?
Well, I didn't know that you didn't want to talk to me.
Oh, that's right. You didn't know I didn't want to talk to you. So,
no, that was the funniest part of the whole story is that you told me like
years later,
a handful of years later, and I'm like, I just thought we were rolling through different phases of life. I didn't really realize we were on a break. That was your idea. And I'm like, okay. And then you and I went to happy hour and you're telling me this story and I'm like probably mouth gaping open. I'm like, what?
What do you mean? Yeah. So we'll rewind a little bit for you. If you head back, first of all, head back to episode 4, the money mindset episode, the very first one that we have ever done on the podcast. And we have not revisited it since, right?
No, and you didn't even want to talk about it on this episode. No. And I'm like, this keeps coming up.
It keeps coming up.
Money and scarcity and abundance. I'm like, we need to talk about this again because we are not the only ones that are dealing with this.
It's
so
like rubbing
we
salt
need to
in
talk
a wound.
about it.
Over
no,
over.
It's going to be good.
It is going to be good.
Yeah, it's a really good episode.
It's a great one. But we dive into it in that episode 4 more about the story of Beth mailed me a book. She mailed me the Jen Sincero book, You're a Badass at Making Money. And she sent this to my house. And I was not in an abundance state of mind or life at that point. I was very much operating in scarcity. And when this book arrived, I was like, what the actual fuck? Ryan, look at this. So it didn't hit right.
Ryan's like, what?
And the funny thing, though, is I did not get rid of it. I held on to it and I did not read it. So fast forward.
But why did it trigger you so badly? You're not talking about that part.
Yeah. That's a really good question, Beth. Probably because in my mind, I was like financially like less financial freedom than you had. Probably saw it more as like you having more, so then you were like trying to show me that I could, I don't know, just like didn't land right. Like I would imagine. I can't actually remember the feeling. I just remember being like, what the fuck? So, and now it feels like a lifetime ago. And
like an actual lifetime ago. And it wasn't that long ago. No. It was like less than 6 years ago because Kaya just turned 6.
No, but it was before that because it came before I had Kaya. So it was like over 7 years when this book came. So 7-8 years ago. And then I was nursing Kaya and I started having, I share more about this in episode 4, but I was like sitting there. I had all this time because she would only nap on me. Like, so she would nurse a nap on me. Like this was my time. And I don't know, I can't remember exactly why, but I decided to listen to that book on Audible because I couldn't read a book while I was nursing a baby. And I'm like, whatever, I'll just try this. And then I was like, oh my God, like obsessed. And that was where
Ryan.
I know, I was like, Ryan, oh my gosh, you've got to read this book. Like you have to, I was like sending, like texting him like all these quotes and things from this book. And I was like, oh, I'm like, what? Beth knew, like, oh my gosh, she was like so trying to help me, like this whole big like aha moment. And I had like cooled off from being pissed about the book at this point. Like
you weren't hanging out with
years. Me. Really funny. And that was like the beginning of visiting money mindset and like what that really was and how to get out of scarcity. So not great that how it started, but also how awesome, because if that never happened, I wonder where we would be, right?
Also, like, if you're anything like me and you read a book and you're like, oh my God, this book is so amazing. And then you race out and buy a whole bunch of copies of it and send it to your friends. Just know that they might not talk to you for a while because it might not land well, right? Like you could have the best of intentions. Yes. Obviously, that I read the book and I was like, first I read How to Be a Badass, her original yellow covered book, if you're a Jen Sincero fan. And then when she came out with I like that book, I'm like, why did I not have this book when I was 18 years old? I'm like, gosh. I would have a different life if I had read this book. So now I give it to every single kid graduating from high school. I give them both of those books along with, you know, a card with some few bucks because they want money too. Yeah. But I'm like, if you read these books, it will change your life. I promise you.
It's true. Like, so we're not getting commission off these books, although
I wish.
We really should be.
But then when I read the green one about how to be a badass at making money, I was like, oh my God. So I bought 3 copies. I sent one to Alyssa and one to my sister Joan and one to you.
Did you hear back from Alyssa or your sister?
My sister acknowledged it. I don't think Alyssa's ever said a word about it.
Let's call Alyssa. Can we get a call a friend here? Can we like bring her in on this conversation?
And then you and I didn't talk about it for a number of years later.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, whatever, you know, just phase of life. But I'm like, I think the book was amazing. And I don't know. And I think I even put like handwritten notes with them too.
Yes, I'm sure you did. I'm sure it was fantastic. Yeah. It was just like the timing and where I was at. I was not ready for it. But also to go back and revisit it and then to share it with Ryan, who then like, and this is before we even had our first conversation about like what working together could look like. I was like listening to this book, whatever. And then we met up for the happy hour. So if you know our timeline, if you've been here for a minute, we met up for the happy hour and Ryan was in the process of reading the book then right after I did. He like jumped on board. And this is when we finally bought a new car. And
you showed up to our happy hour with a new car and I'm like, whoa.
Yeah. And we like had a new baby. I was, you know, full-time mom. And, you know, we were not in like a financial like abundance place at all. And we didn't feel it really anywhere else. And so that book is why Ryan was like, we can do this. So it's just this crazy thing. So then Beth, why don't you share what Ryan sent you just a little bit ago?
Okay. I'm going to read a text from Ryan, Kristi's husband. And so he texted me a couple of weeks ago. That's where I was like, we need to start talking about more money and mindset stuff because I feel like it's really important. So he just out of the blue, like at 7:00 on a Thursday a couple weeks ago, he's like, I just wanted to share this because I know you'll get it. We bought our car after Kristi listened to the Jen Sincero book and then I listened to it. I was nervous, but we went for it. And today we paid it off early. It's been a great car for us. Thank you.
So it sort of like brings it all full circle. And I was like, oh my gosh, that is incredible because you think of like how long you have a car and all that. And just like it just kind of showcases the timeline. And also just this tiny little thing, right? This tiny little thing, this little shift in like thinking and then going for it within reason, right? And then seeing that in the end, oh, that was no big deal. We were totally fine.
Right.
It's just, and then to be able to celebrate it with your friend who was well-intentioned in sending you the book that pissed you off is really super fun also. So this episode today is all about money mindset.
Yes.
And I'm going to be honest. I don't love always chatting about this. Like this is a hard one. We've talked about like revisiting this so many times. I don't know.
You've shot it down every single time.
Oh my gosh. And I don't know why.
I'm like, why don't we just reach out to Jen and get her on the podcast?
I know,
and
right?
Kristi's like, we're not ready for that. And I'm like, I think we are. I mean, this book has like changed our lives. So, I mean, what's not to get ready for?
Maybe
like,
this is it. Maybe that's our next call.
See if we can get her on in the fall or something.
That'd be amazing.
Because
who wants to hear Jen Sincero? Raise your hand.
Gosh.
Me.
That'd be amazing, right?
So Beth, let's talk about money mindset. Since I've shared where I've been at in life. So if we think about ways that it shows up in a negative way in our life, like, can you sort of like share a little bit about, I just shared like scarcity, like we won't have enough, or I don't need that, or like comparing ourselves to someone else who has more, like, oh, they have abundance, so they're this, or like, it's just this like whole thing, this whole story that we make up in our heads. So can you share a little bit about?
Like from a real estate perspective, and we've talked about this on other podcasts, is that like social media, there's a lot of mind fuckery that happens.
Oh my God.
Is that, when maybe you had a weekend, or like, let's not say you, if I have a weekend and my phone has not rung, or I didn't have real estate appointments, and then Monday morning I log into Instagram and I start scrolling and I'm like, oh, their real estate team sold 5 houses last weekend and I sold none. Okay. That I start spiraling down the doom, and it's all scarcity. And I'm like, I just almost have to like step away from social media and stop playing the comparison game, and realize that if I have a weekend where my phone is not ringing off the hook with new clients, it doesn't mean that I'm out of business. It just means that I needed a break.
Yes.
I feel like the universe like gives me pauses, but when I'm constantly operating my business in a space of scarcity, I am not in tuned enough to actually take the pause and refresh when I need to. I heard that I sat in on a mastermind like 10 years ago. Brian Buffini, he's like an old school real estate coach. And he's like, if you really are in tune and pay attention to it, real estate operates in cycles. And that's why we always talk about this on the podcast, that if you're fucking around now, you're in the summer, you're not going to have any business in the pipeline in the fall, because it's a 90-day cycle. And then if you continue fucking around, then come holidays, and the holidays leads into Q1 of the following year. So it's all the same thing. But he said, in that same breath of like paying attention to when the business comes in and working it, you also need to pay attention when the business gives you a lull, to not try to fill it up with more business and to just take it. So if you're operating at a good level and you're serving clients at a high level, you aren't out of business. Like, get out of that bullshit like headspace and really like, okay, the business is giving me a pause. I'm going to take a pause. I'm going to go on a little staycation. We're going to go on a little, weekend getaway, whatever that looks like.
Stay at home and do nothing.
Stay at home and do nothing, like the Randalls did the last 2 weekends, which felt really weird considering it was like 80 and sunny out. Like, why aren't we out on the lake? We literally didn't even go out to eat on Friday, Saturday, or Sunday night. That's weird for us, 2 weekends in a row. But like, is God, universe, whatever you believe in, like, is your higher power like giving you that space to recharge and refresh that maybe you're trying to ignore? So like, that's showing up for me in a big way.
Yeah, I love that way of thinking. That's like giving me like, I'm like really, how can I relate that into my life more and to like approach it that way? Okay, so let's share a little bit about like, when the feelings you get around money and negative, good, prickly. Yeah, prickly is a word that you describe a lot, like, or use as a describing word a lot. So like, let's chat a little bit about that, because the reality is it happens to a lot of us. And there's a lot of discomfort in many different ways around money, around talking about money. So like, let's just rip off that Band-Aid and just say it.
Well, I know like in our household, like Mark just shuts down. Like when when I'm trying to like have money conversations, he just shuts down. So like, I don't know how money was talked about or not talked about like in his household growing up, but I know that there's definite discomfort with him around it. So then I need to be smart with my approach to it, right? Like if I know that that's something that's going to shut him down, then I need to like sort of like prep him ahead of time. Like, hey, we need to talk about X, Y, or Z things. Like insurance has been a huge one for us lately since he retired. We don't have our awesome county benefits anymore. And so I'll be like, hey, like, this is something we need to talk about later this week, just so he's like, okay, mentally preparing for it. So then I don't just like spring it on him and then all of a sudden shut down. And
like the trigger point of money. Like,
and then all of a sudden I'm like, well, there you go. You get to deal with this on your own. So just kind of like knowing like how that other person in your life, if you're like in some sort of relationship, like reacts to those conversations.
You know, this is really something interesting to bring up too, Beth, because when I have learned in life so far, at least, that there are specific people that you can have these open conversations about money with that feel safe. And the rest of them just don't talk about it, which, you're just avoiding it. No, I'm just like trying to protect my peace and that sort of thing. So there are just, less than a handful of people that I will have open communication, like conversations with about money. And I would love so much for that to change. And I would love so much for like, especially women, like we're so involved in the decision making and the finance and all that of the house, but women have the least knowledge as far as like economics and how everything is functioning, like as far as stock market, everything. So that's changing, which is really exciting. It's shifting more in our direction, which is awesome, and like more of a desire to learn more about money. But it's really, we're in that in-between place right now where like a lot of like women, they don't talk about money, or you don't, like, it's a bad thing. Like if you have too much, it's bad. If you don't have enough, it's bad. If you're in the middle, like it's just this weird sort of thing. And there's so much negativity around it. Even if it's good, bad, enough, not enough. Like it seems like you can't get past that for some reason unless you're talking with someone who's like at the like okay with it, right? Has done that work to get okay with it. So I find that really hard, really hard.
One of Mark's big shifts that he's struggling with is like when he worked for the county and worked for the sheriff's department, everybody knew how much everybody made. It's just like common knowledge. And they even posted in like the newspapers and stuff. Like when you work a bunch of overtime, they're like, oh, so-and-so made X amount of dollars. And you're like, okay, that's so weird. And so then now he's shifted into like civilian work and doesn't work like a government type job. He hasn't figured out like the nuances of like people, just the average person just doesn't talk about how much money that they make. And I was like, babe, down low. Just like no one care. You're not working for the county anymore. And like this could put you in a situation where like you're blabbing about how much money you make, but the guy next to you could be making $5 less an hour. And all of a sudden you're creating animosity at work that is totally avoidable by you shutting your mouth. And he's like, wow, it's hard for him to unlearn that because he worked for the county for 20 plus years.
Yeah, it's so weird. It's like there's like conversations with money have rules, it almost feels like.
But like unwritten, to, like, most of them.
Unwritten, and you have to like tiptoe around it. And
it's weird.
It's so strange. It's literally money. It's just money. It's not this big evil thing. It's a tool. We all need it to, to live a life. You need money. And it's just this really strange thing. And it gets really uncomfortable, especially when so much scarcity creeps in and so much judgment. I get especially sensitive or get a like anxiety or just don't feel good about success when I know it's like being judged too. Like that sort of thing is like really hard for me. And so like if you see, and maybe that's one of the reasons why like I don't love like so much outward celebrations, right?
Maybe you talked about that in your birthday episode.
I did. And I can like love those quiet wins and stuff, but like I don't love that because then it still showcases it, right? Like maybe that's part of it. I never even thought of that till right now. But you'll have close people in your life, like close people say like negative things, or like I know we've been like questioning like how we can go on a vacation, like questioning things that we can do, like kind of off to the side, which is so uncomfortable and strange. And you can't really do anything about it. And so then it kind of messes with your head. And then you have to go back and like try to get to that space. So it creeps in many, many different ways. And
just when you think you've mastered it, it hits you in a different way.
Yeah, that's why probably I'm like, I don't want to do a money mindset episode, Beth. And right now we're taking, Ryan and I, one of the biggest financial risks we've ever taken in our life, building the cabin. Yeah. And being like okay to actually take that risk, it's not easy. And then when you think about it, you're like, oh my gosh, but then you just like remind yourself, like stay in abundance and remind yourself and all of that. But I think also that might be one of the reasons, because like I don't have it figured out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I've literally been doing that abundance and prosperity, that 11-minute, whatchamacallit, like meditation, morning meditation. And honestly, when I started listening to it, I felt like it was like magic at first. And now it's like, this shit's not working. What's not working? And I'm like, I know it's me in my own brain.
Yeah.
It's not the little, push play on my phone, on the app. That's not it. It's totally me with my mind fuckery, like all in my head.
Yeah. And once you get such a slippery slope.
Mm-hmm.
So like, what do you do when you get stuck in that place of, oh my God, I don't have enough, or this is going to just like blow up, or the scarcity? Like, what do you do?
I don't know that I have any like super solid tricks. I try to snap out of it knowing that my brain is likely like playing tricks on me. Because I know that I'm doing all the things. Just when I talk about like having like a weekend where like the phone might be quiet for the weekend. Well, maybe I put 5 deals under contract during the week, and then my phone is quiet over the weekend, and then someone else's phone just rang over the weekend. I'd rather have the weekend quiet, not if I'm
it also goes to show how we share those big wins outwardly, like social media posts. You're not posting your quiet weekends.
Right.
So then when we go in there and we compare ourselves, we're only seeing the weekends that are loud.
Honestly, I haven't posted hardly anything on the weekends the last couple weekends. I'm scrolling my phone. I'm like, I had nothing to post. I'm like, I worked open houses and more open houses.
Oh, gosh.
That's weird.
We talk a lot about like the manifesting and like speaking it into existence and like the negative impacts that has. And this is like where this gets really woo, but I really believe it. I know that you really believe it. And it's worked for both of us. Like it does work for both of us. So really just like when those thoughts creep in, or even like if you're around someone who's like really, really negative when it comes to like money, or those conversations happen, or they make you second guess what you're doing, or that kind of thing. It's like just really reminding ourselves, or like retraining our brains, like fixing that dialogue once it goes back in. Because if you hear it, you're like, okay, you can't unhear it. So then what do I need to do now to kind of counteract this? Because I don't like to go into that downward spiral.
Are you noticing it so much more like when people have like a really scarcity or negative mindset around money? Are you noticing it like it's almost like on hyper alert?
Yes.
Me too.
Yes. And I have gotten to the point where, and I think it's just because I've really focused in on this and like really tried to like do the work of like, where is this coming from every time? And, scarcity, honestly, outside of money set, just where does that come in general in life and people that I'm communicating with? So yes. And I like kind of like get cringy, or like that prickly feeling I would imagine that you're describing. And I don't want anything to do with the conversation. And we've talked about this too, like with like health stuff, or like weight stuff, or like eating, that kind of thing too. And I have found for me, or like more body image stuff, right? I found for me that like the same kind of thing happens. And I think it's because I know myself well enough that it's an easy slippery slope. Like, oh, well, if they didn't like how they looked in those shorts, like, should I be questioning because I have the same shorts? Like something simple like that.
Yeah.
And then it's like, no, they can just not like how they looked in the shorts, and that's it. The end.
It's nothing to do with
not adding the extra to it. And so same with the money stuff too, like these conversations, and very frequently hear them. And it's like about like negative, like I don't have enough, this lack of abundance, or also so much of it is this person is, or like putting someone on a pedestal because we deem them financially successful, and we have no idea. Let's be honest. It's none of our business and we have no idea, but like that pedestal thing. So even that, where it's looked at as positive, it's not really positive if you're envious, right? And that's coming from an envious place. So I just try so hard to like unhear it, Beth. Or like
it's hard.
You get those icky feelings and just not like really participate in that conversation because it's not serving my life.
Not at all.
At all.
Right. Yeah. I have a bunch of people that I know, and can't even name any names, that like when I hang out with them, there's regular conversations around scarcity, and it's like, ugh. Like what if, and you're not like, oh, what if you shift that around, Not everyone wants to be coached through that conversation.
And I would imagine it's very similar to like when you sent me the book that feeling if you did try to.
Yeah.
I would imagine, because I didn't like, it felt like almost like offensive. Is that like the word or something? Like,
I'm sure.
Something like that. I'm trying to like get the right word.
It wasn't the intention, of course but you're not. Just like, what the fuck?
But I wasn't ready for it. So if someone's not ready for it,
right?
You're just, causing some issues.
Yeah.
Or like, you're not in reality. No, I am. I pay my mortgage every month and I like, that kind of thing. But there's so much.
It's hard to hang out with people that are just constantly living every area of their life in a state of scarcity.
It's very hard. It's very difficult. And it's like, not that I have everything figured out, because I'm not even close.
Right.
But once you get enough to where you can have like more peace with things, like even if they're just not where you want them to be, then you have this desire to help, right? Like you have this like, hey, I want to share this with you. And like, it's that delicate dance around scarcity and money mindset. Mm-hmm. And you have to just like, I don't love the eggshell walk. And I don't know how to like, not walk on eggshells around it. And that's where I really like focusing in on people that I can talk about money with, like sharing things. Like Beth, my e-bike, we were just talking about the e-bike. And I was like, even then I'm like, sharing it because it's, it's like an investment kind of purchase, right? And how silly to not just think that you could just say it to anyone or whatever. Right. Like I'm getting this e-bike that I've wanted forever kind of thing. Yeah. But I'm like, to get that excitement back with it. And that helps retrain my brain too. I have a friend where I can be like, hey, I'm going to get this e-bike. You love your e-bike.
Did you get this color? I'm so jealous.
Yeah.
Mine's black.
So how do you do you have more of that? I think like that reciprocation of like a healthy money conversation or healthy conversations around anything.
Well, and especially like growing up the way we grew up. I mean, you and I both grew up with single moms. They were always struggling to make ends meet. There was probably like never enough. And so it plants a seed. Like that story is created or it starts getting written way, way, way back then. It's not like you all of a sudden outgrow that because you're an adult and you have like a big girl job. That doesn't go away. You have to do all tons and tons and tons of inner work in order to like tell that, that the inner child that like you're safe, you have all your needs met, like you're good, you're living your life in abundance. But it's not something that automatically gets healed or that goes away without doing the work. It's
so true. And it's also like something that I really had to think about and shift in my head. And I'm still doing this, is this idea that like you are more because of it, or like you are less because of not. Like this idea that if I have more money, I am like the better person, or if I have less money, then I'm like it's less, or like, but regardless, I'm going to get like negative feedback from someone because of it. And then if I have more, then I by default think I'm better because, like it's like this weird sort of like tie-in. And just these like weird things we can place on others. And it's just like when we really just have no idea. I think we're all super guilty of comparing and placing judgment and that kind of thing, even if we're trying so hard not to.
Yeah.
It's really hard if you see that. So just like kind of recognizing that depending on like this, where I'm at financially or like where in life I've been at, and just kind of, okay, it's actually, you are just who you are regardless of what that looks like.
It's so many like mind games.
Mm-hmm. Especially when we tie success to finances too. Like a lot of us tie like success to money and like that's it. And and then what if I view success in so many other ways? And money's just a tool that helps me gain more success.
Yeah. I think for me personally, it's really hard to think that money is a tool. Mm. I feel like in relationships over the years, I've used money as like a weapon. And like that, there's like a romantic relationship that I had. Like I look back and I'm like, yeah, money was definitely used as a weapon in that relationship. Mm. And I had money, he didn't. And in the end, he bankrupted me. Ugh. Because I kept thinking that like money would equate to love. And it didn't equate to love. But it was a tool. I would like really play small. And he'd be like, how's like my business is terrible. We were in the same industry. My business is terrible. And I'd be like, well, yeah, so is mine. And I'm like, and I'd actually closed like 5 deals that week.
Oh my God.
And I was playing so small.
So small.
Yeah.
And then like telling yourself again and again, like you're just like telling yourself this story then and like making it a reality.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So ridiculous. And I'm like, no. Example 185,000 of what not to do in life.
Play small just to like fit into like.
To make somebody else feel better about their scarcity and where they were at in life.
Oh, Beth, I can so relate to this and have do this still to this day, like in small, like I don't want to say smaller way, but like in just kind of everyday ways of just like downplaying something or like I just totally can see myself doing this. And I bet you a lot of our listeners can see it too. And like on a smaller playing field. And that's not good.
No.
Because it's like you still kind of like, oh, and you kind of like just squash yourself a little bit, squash yourself a little bit. And so much of it though, like you had mentioned, like from childhood, right? Like so much of this is we had moms that worked their asses off to have what we had. And we like, but you learn that you have to work that hard just to be able to survive, right?
Like
you
kill
have
yourself
to kill yourself.
Like barely break even.
So like I'm so grateful for the work ethic that I have and the shit that I can make happen. Like I wouldn't trade that really for anything.
No,
like,
I wouldn't either. You and I both have that in common.
Yeah, we're getting shit
we're
done.
Fucking scrappy and we'll figure that shit out.
Yes, exactly.
It also is probably not been a good trait of us in life.
It totally does. And when we think about like, there's like all these different, like when we think of like children and like what we're saying around them and stuff, like we've made Ryan and I really have strict rules that we don't even have to talk about because we've just made those a long time ago about how we talk about money in our house and keeping it in a place of like essentially money's a tool, right? And so we talk about, like if Kaya were to ask us something, how much something is, or like she wants to go buy something like that, but also it's never like, you have to do gymnastics because you signed up and we paid for it. And if you don't, like that whole like pressure tied to
it's our hard-earned money you're wasting.
It's our hard-earned money you're wasting, or like you can't waste the food. We paid for that, or this like super negative. We make sure that because she's hearing it. We've also learned that she's hearing it in the wild all the time. Yeah, she's hearing scarcity and really terrible money talk probably daily or regularly. Yeah. And we can't do anything about that necessarily, but we can in our home like shift that and make it like, this is money, this is a tool. And like, we work and this is what happens. And just like this is what it is. Nothing else. No emotions tied to it. And we want something like, okay, like we can have that today, sure, no problem. Or like, let's think about what this looks like for our family. Those conversations instead of, we can't afford that right now. So no, just like, what would this look like? And what would we kind of have to give or take or that kind of thing to make it happen? So just trying to keep it positive.
I think that will serve her really well in life as she gets older. I love how you guys are with that, everything money related around her.
Yeah, I guess we'll see, Beth, in a few years if it matters.
I think it's going to be awesome.
I think it will. You know, something else when I think back to the Jen Sincero book is she talks about leaving money out. Yes. Like visible. Yes. And we've done that ever since we've read the book. We'll like, you like randomly find a $5 bill in our house. And Kaya's room too, like I have, so she gets, she has like her bank that she has, but if there's just like a couple bucks or so, I would just leave it on her dresser so she sees it. And just like you visually, and granted, most things now are like electronic payment. We're not even like passing money, but it's the only way to tangibly understand what it is too, is to like hold it. So we do that. And I got that from that book. And I think it really helps.
I have a girl that used to be on my old real estate team. She was from Bolivia. She is from Bolivia. And like a big, I don't know, folklore or like tradition that they have there is they have like these little tiny little baby dollars. I should take a picture and post it on social. So I've got some in my wallet. They're like little mini dollars, but she gave each of us on the team like a pack of them, and I've got them all over. And she's like, it's just a reminder that like money is everywhere.
Oh, I love this.
And so like I have my wallet sitting right here. Yeah. I'll pull it out. And then I have some in like my thing in my vanity. I mean, I've got them all over. Here's one. Look at how teeny it is.
Oh, it's so cute.
But I've got a whole bunch of them in here. And they're just like little fake dollar bills. But they're just a reminder that like money's everywhere. Money's all around you.
Yeah.
There's never a shortage of it. It's everywhere. It's a tool. But this is a Bolivian thing. And I'm like, I've never heard of this before in my life. And like, what does it say? It's like a $2 bill. So I'm like, how cool is that? Oh, yeah, this one's more. Oh, they're all different quantities. This one's a $100 bill. So she's like, she got us all like American dollar ones. She's got Bolivian currency ones at her house. But I'm like, how cool is that? And so I have them everywhere. And like anytime I clean like the change out of my wallet, I always keep that.
I love it. That's super neat. You've never shared that with me. I love that so much.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
So I don't know. I could just figure out where she got those and get Kaya a pack of them so then she can have them.
She would love it.
She would love it. Yeah, how you guys have conversations like with Kaya is so cool.
Yeah.
I absolutely love it.
Yeah, so we regularly talk about money in just like a healthy way. Like we're not having these arguments about like bills or that kind of thing. We're talking about it in front of her so she like understands it exists without it actually being like a problem or something that holds her back. Like just to try to help her have that abundance. And I truly believe like as a children believe what they are told. So if we tell them that we are scarce, if we tell them that we don't have enough money, if we tell them that if you do this thing in life, then you can't have this and it has to do with money, then they believe that. They believe whatever we tell them up until a certain age. They believe us. Like they're guiding, like they guide them the entire time. So if I tell her this, then she's going to believe that we don't have enough. So that's something that we have really tried to focus on in our home. And I also talked to her about being an entrepreneur is something that like I want her to understand what that looks like. And, you know, she knows dad goes to work and dad makes money. And like she knows like, you know, things cost money, right? Like she knows that is a thing. But she also knows that mom can generate money without mom being gone. And growing up, and I'm sure Beth, you can relate to this, like growing up in a household where single mom, like working their ass off, right? Just working so hard. A lot of the time it was like, well, if my mom's not gone, then we aren't going to have what we need. And so like associating like mom being gone with like my basic needs being met. And I just really want to make sure that she doesn't have this like deep feeling of, well, my mom has to be gone for us to have enough money, which is why like incorporating her into work and like, oh my gosh, for years you brought her to podcast recording day and all these kinds of things are just really, really important for our family.
Okay, Kristi, share a little bit. You and I have had conversations about Kaya's schooling.
Oh.
Share a little bit about that because I know that you're like, why does anyone even care where my kid goes to school?
It's so strange. So this is like coming from like the closer people in your life, right? Like, I mean, everyone else, you just don't even know what they're thinking. Right. But Kaya, she's going to private school. She'll be most likely permanently in private school. And I want to know, like, as me saying this to you as a listener, how did that feel? Like, did it feel kind of prickly? Like,
oh, she's so bougie. Her kid goes to private school.
Yes, like totally. Like, I have goosebumps saying that and even just like calling everyone. I want to know because there's nothing like we are literally getting like judged because she's in private school. Oh, like, or she'll go to private school. Oh,
why
like,
isn't she going to public school?
Why, like, you think you're better. But it's like, oh my gosh, like, right. And so like, how can you afford it? Like all of these things. And it's like, I don't need to sit and list, and you don't. If you're listening to this and you make a decision for your family, you don't owe anyone an explanation. No one's business. But the reality is we have worked our life in a way to where that is a priority.
Yes.
And it's a priority for us, so therefore we make it happen. We choose, and you know, with choices, like with our decision making, with like how big our house is, how much we spend on a mortgage, like there's all of these things that are like playing like into play here, and that just happens to be a priority for us. And that's it, period. But it is interesting how much negativity surrounds just knowing someone is going to make that decision. It is mind-boggling because just the looks you get and the energy shift, and not with everyone, but a lot, to where I was like, I'm not really even going to say anything. But then the questions like naturally come up, like, oh, where's she going to school next year, kind of thing. I still have very close family members that have not asked me where she's going to school next year. Okay, it's the summer.
She's aging
it's
out
the
of
summer.
her school. Yeah.
And they went to like her fly-up ceremony, which is the end of year celebration for her, like at her school she's been at for 3 years.
Yeah.
And like no conversation because they know, but it's weird and we don't talk about it. So it's like this very awkward thing. And as a parent, just to make this decision because it fits your beliefs and like what you want to happen. And then to have the money piece thrown, it's very strange, Beth. And it's something that
I
I'm like,
can't even imagine.
It's so
I can
weird.
imagine, but I think it's ridiculous because I'm like, why do you care?
And it just comes from insecurities. We all have them, right?
Yeah.
We all make judgments and think things just because from what are all of our insecurities. But it is definitely a strange thing. So it's like, I guess what I'm getting at here is no matter what in life, we're going to get these things thrown at us. So it's really just like how we respond to it and how we let it affect us.
Yeah.
And that's really what I'm focusing on. I mean, Beth, you went to private school. You've shared like with me, like there was like negative kind of talk around it or like the idea of it. Like, do you want to share a little bit about that?
Yeah.
more?
So we went to private school, but like my mom, we were on welfare growing up. I don't even know who paid for our school. I have no idea.
And like you didn't need to know.
I'm in my 50s and my mom still, there's things that my mom won't even tell me. And I'm just like, okay, I mean, I think we can let this go, Cheryl. Like, money mindset lady. Like, and she's like, it doesn't matter. I don't know if we were on scholarship. I don't know if my grandparents paid for it. I have no idea.
Yeah.
It's just I had a great education, but I have no idea how a lot of that got paid for.
Yeah. And to be like, the parent on the other end of like, we're paying for it. Like we're paying, this is like our decision. And just like any other decision in life, there's sacrifices made for different things to make other decisions. So it's like so strange that this one thing is such a weird
and that
thing.
Anybody gives a shit. Like who cares? But like there definitely was people are like, oh, you go to private school. And I'm like, well, I mean, there's plenty of like sexy private schools in the Twin Cities.
Yeah.
That's not the one I went to, in case you're wondering. I didn't get to wear the cute little preppy plaid skirt with a monogram blazer. Like that's the school I wanted to go to. I didn't get to go to those kind of schools. But there definitely is connotations about that people just have totally preconceived notions that are so weird.
Yeah. And I mean, I'll call myself out. I have them about things like we all do shit, but it's like recognizing like when that shows up and then also how we're responding to it.
And why is it showing up?
Why is it showing up? Okay. Can I check myself? Can I rewire that dialogue?
Right.
And then also like when I feel something when someone else is throwing that at me, like sit with that and just keep doing you. Like, let it go because it's not even any of our business until they make it our business. But, you know.
Yeah. I think that one of the big things is like, I don't think people have to like avoid talking about money.
No.
I think you're naturally going to find those people that are more comfortable talking about it. I have one girlfriend. We talk about money all the time. Like she and I go out to lunch and very candid conversations all the time about
refreshing.
Money. It's really freeing actually. Because like, I don't even have another friend that talks that candidly about money as she does. And it's really cool that, I don't know, there wasn't a whole lot of taboo around it apparently growing up in her household.
Yeah.
Which I think is great.
That is great. So I guess a question too that we can ask ourselves are like, are we telling ourselves a story that's becoming our reality, right? Like good or bad.
Yeah.
Like good or bad. And then really like, are we putting ourselves in circles where we can talk about money where it feels safe? I think that's like a really big thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Money is definitely not like a magic pill. But like we talked about earlier, it's definitely a tool. It's a tool in like, you know, in my past relationship, it was a tool that was used toxically for sure. Mm-hmm. Pre doing a ton of work on myself, but it can be like this really beautiful tool to have this really rich and full life.
Yes, it can be. If we allow it to be, right? If we allow it to be. You know, I think about the mantra that I do not say enough, and I need to put this back into my daily practice of the I love money and money loves me. Money comes into my life freely and I love it. And I think about that, and it's not something I would ever just like say out in public, right? Because if you're like, I love money, it's like, what? Like, oh my God, who says that?
Yeah.
Where if you're like, I love vacations, people are like, I love vacations too.
Right.
It's this weird thing, and it just doesn't really make any sense. And I'm like, I love coffee, I love vacations, but do not say I love money.
Yeah, because then people are going to like totally judge the shit out of you.
Yeah, it's kind of
so
wild.
weird. It is weird when you compare it to vacations and coffee. You're like, well, why can't I?
Why can't I just say that? So these are just some things to maybe think about and see where you're at, and just ask yourself some questions. I think that's really what we did, Beth. Like really tried to do that inner work, and
or
like
send your friend a book, and it might implode your relationship, but it could be the start of something even more incredible.
It could, like this podcast. Okay, so let's break down some action items. If you're struggling with this and you really want to like get into more of that abundance state of mind when it comes to money or really anything, let's break down some action items.
Yeah, number 1, do you have a group of friends around you that you really feel safe talking about money with?
Even one friend.
Yeah.
Yep.
One's all you need.
One's all you need. Number 2, start changing the dialogue in your head. Whoo! From like, that latte's too expensive. It's not the latte. It's never the latte. Ever.
We had something come up recently at our eWomen network, is that our monthly luncheon is at this cute little country club, and we have like this chicken lunch. And one of the members, like some of the people that attended the lunch were like, this is expensive. And one of our OG members got up and she was talking about like networking. Like, what is the intention of this lunch? Are you showing up with an intention? Are you showing up ready to network? Like, we're in a networking group for women entrepreneurs. She's like, are you showing up with the best version of yourself? Do you look cute? Do you feel good? She goes, it's not about the chicken. She goes, it's not the $40 chicken. That's not what we're here for. If you're bitching about the chicken and you didn't do anything else on the list, she's like, of course it's not going to be a good experience. But it's not about the chicken. So now that's the big joke.
Not about that chicken.
Oh my God. Uh-huh. And so now anytime anyone says that, we're like, yep, it is not about the country club chicken.
I love that. She sounds amazing.
Yeah, she is amazing. Well, so next thing on the list, hire a professional. Like, if you need help figuring it out, hire a professional.
Yeah.
Like, I hired a financial coach this spring. And it was to like go through and do a deep dive of my books for the BPR experience. And I'm like, show me any like hidden blind spots of like areas of opportunity to like streamline the process, to save money, to whatever, all the things. And I'm like, it was really hard to like write that check and, hire a coach for someone to potentially say that you're suck at managing money. But it felt really good at the end when I was willing to be like coachable about my finances.
That's great.
Yeah.
And if you can't go that route, do you at least have an accountant? Like, do you at least have someone that's looking at your finances? Like, are you going through them to really make it make sense for you? And to like, do you really not have enough for the chicken? Like,
if you're a businesswoman listening to this and you do not have QuickBooks and you are not keeping regular records, like, do you even run a legitimate business? Mm-hmm. Business bank accounts, an accountant that you trust, a bookkeeper that you trust, a financial planner. Like, there's all these experts out there just like waiting for you to raise your hand saying, hey, can you help educate me on this?
But they're expensive. I'm just kidding.
You can't afford it. You can't afford not to do it. You can't afford not
to do it. Okay, number 4, get the book. Go get You Are a Badass at Making Money by Jen Sincero. We'll link it in the podcast notes. Get it, Audible book. It doesn't matter. Just read it. It's fantastic.
It's such a good book. I feel like I need to reread it.
I know. I think I'm ready to reread it also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Number 5, Abundance and Prosperity meditation. We'll link that in the notes also, because this meditation that Carrie shared with me, I'm not even joking when I tell you the first week I listened to it, I put 9 deals in the pipeline.
Did you guys hear that? 9 deals.
It felt like beginner's luck and it felt like it was a fluke. But I'm telling you, so much abundance showed up that first month I listened to it. And I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa. 11 minutes a day changed my life.
I love this so much. And you can always go with the very simple one that I have not used regularly recently, but mostly use this regularly. And it's the I love money. Money loves me. Money comes into my life freely and I like it. And say it in front of your children if you have them.
That's so cool. I love that. I wish I would have had the mantra like that when I was a kid.
Ugh, right.
Like imagine how different my life would have been turned out if I wasn't like raised in a household where scarcity was the name of the game.
I think it's just really hard. Like we learn how we grew up. Like that's how we learn. And so then it's like repeated. It's really just like flipping the script on that.
Our parents learned how they were raised.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
So if you found this episode helpful, please forward this off to a friend. We would love it if you would share it with them. It's what keeps us going here. And until next time,
keep your face off a bus bench.
And keep being the badass boss babe that you are. Okay, girls, are you feeling as inspired as we are? We're over here cheering you on because you just finished another episode of the Girl, Get Your Face Off a Bus Bench podcast.
If you want more, head over to girlgetyourfaceoffabusbench.com for show notes and more episodes. And don't forget to subscribe and leave us a 5-star review. They mean the world to us and they're what keep us going.
Girl, thanks for being here.